Hey, what's up guys? It's Lukas Kasper again. I'm here in my art studio and I thought I'd just shoot a quick tutorial for you. For quite a while I struggled in taking photos of my artwork, but these days I actually found a workaround to make them look really nice. But I'm no photographer in any stretch of the imagination. I take all my shots on auto and I just do a little bit of editing on the computer. I went through a lot of different versions of this myself, whether it was holding the board themselves, shooting it up against walls, shooting it on the ground, trying to blank out that background where I can. I did just about everything and made just about every mistake, but finally I found a nice workaround which is nice, cheap, easy, affordable. You can do it with anything too, whether it's a camera or a phone these days. They shoot that good of an image. So to do this process, you only really need three things. One would be a white board. For me, I actually use an MDF sheet. So I went to Bunnings, or you can get it from any hardware shop. You can buy them for like 10 bucks, prime that white with a bit of white paint, and you have a perfect background. You can either use that or you can use whatever you want really. As long as it's sort of big and flat, paint it white and you're ready to go. Secondly, the thing that you'll need is you need some editing software. So I use Photoshop. You can find your own little cheaper programs and stuff out there, because all you really need to do is use like a bit of a brush tool and to brighten it up. So that's really, really simple on that end. So there's plenty of affordable workarounds for that. I will show you in Photoshop today, but you can use whatever program you like. And then the third thing is obviously the camera. So I shoot mine on a DSLR. Mine's a bit ancient by now anyway. Literally the new phones take better photos than my camera. It's pretty wild what they can do. So three things: camera or a phone, a board, a bit of editing software, and you can have professionally shot photos of your artworks. It'll help you sell, it'll help you look good. Up on your website, it can look incredible. And it's just amazing how far it can push your art. So I'm gonna get stuck right into it and show you exactly how I do it. Cool, so we've jumped into the Photoshop file here. It looks a little bit dark. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this into a square. So I want to do that because I'm just going to post this up on Insta. Also on my website, I'll have it posted up too. Go to my crop tool. Basically up here in the top left, you have all these different ratios. This can help you with squaring something out. It can be whatever ratio you like, but I'm going to go square. Once you click it, it'll turn it square. So I'm going to basically center this to the middle. That should be pretty much good just there. That's all sweet. Click enter. It's going to be a squared out piece. It's going to look really goofy at this point, but we will fix it up very soon. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to eyedrop tool this exact gray. I'm going to go to my brushes, expand this up a little bit, and I'm just going to brush this in. And this is fine if it's not like the exact gray. As you zoom in, this would be a little bit different down here, but that's completely fine. I'm going to brighten this up to be around what I want for the actual skateboard. So I'm not going to worry too much about the background so far. I'm going to find a nice little midway point, which looks more realistic. This looks closer to what the actual piece looks like in real life. Click enter. And from here, the best thing that I like to keep is you can see this shadow behind here. I want this shadow to look realistic. Whenever I add drop shadows, it just never looks as nice as it does right now. So the way that I keep this shadow in here is I'm actually going to create a separate layer, which my skateboard's going to sit on. And then I'm going to actually play with this white background and make it look nice. So the way to turn this into a separate layer, you can either use your sort of selection tool up here and go through the whole thing. But I'm going to make it a bit easier for me. I'm going to go select and I'm going to go subject. This should pretty much capture it, especially if you have a canvas, like it's just a square. It should pretty simply go around it. It's a really, really smart tool. If you ever have mistakes in it though, you can go to your selection tool after that. I'll put it on a plus so it adds them in. And then there you can just add in those areas, right? So boom, right there. And literally, I think it's just sectioned out the rest pretty correctly. There's a little gap just in here, but I'm actually not even going to worry about that. You won't notice it by the end, and the piece will still look pretty nice. So now that I have that, I'm just going to copy and paste it. So Command C, Command V. Now I got a separate layer up here. This is going to sit on the top of this background. So I can now play with this background, which is just going to be the white area. It looks really white right now. It looks great, but once you post this online, there is a bit of a gray square, especially if you're going to put it on your website. It will have a gray square around it rather than being completely white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Image, Selective Color. I'm going to go to my white and I'm going to bump all these back to -100. So this takes all the color out of that white section. You click Enter, and then, I mean, basically you have your image. Like, this is ready to go. I will change things up a little bit, like the top's a little brighter, so I can go into my sponge tool and just saturate it a bit. This might sort of bring it to the colors of the rest of the piece. As you can see, that ain't bad. You can add brightness here and there, so the dodge tool's great to brighten things up. So I might just brighten up the bottom. It's a little dark. Might brighten up the bird a little bit. You want to really keep it true to life though. So this is basically exactly what it looks like in real life. The colors are really correct just here. And there you go. You have a piece with a white background. You can also expand on this. You can shoot them from all different angles and do the exact same editing process. I'll actually show you through what that looks like right now. So these are all the raw shots. You can see where it begins. For example, I think one of the images that I use is right here. Looks really dodgy to start off with. You know, it's got the bricks up here. Doesn't look that great. But if you just section this area off, turn it white, do the same thing with the background, you can keep the beautiful drop shadow that's just here. And by the end of it, it will look something like this. This is sick too, because you can place this in anything. You can make it smaller, bigger, you can flip it around, you can do whatever you want once this background's nice and white. And it just looks awesome. You can shoot it from the side, from the front, back, whatever it is, and really show off the different sides of your artwork. So this is important, especially for me, because these things are sort of sculptures. So this could be really handy for somebody who's shooting a 3D element. It's good for canvases too, but especially when you want that nice edge shown, it's incredible. And that's about it for the little tutorial. Hopefully you learned something new. If you do like my artwork, feel free to check out my channel. I've got heaps of videos making these things, and I will catch you on the next one.